It's also my privilege at this time to introduce President Kevin Nash.
Well, this is certainly an exciting time for us, and you know, it almost makes me think that we're all here to hear about salary increases or something. Sometimes you see this many people, and then people would ask me, well, what am I going to do after this? And I'm going to go to Disney. Well, before we share the process, the actual name itself, I think it's important to understand the process that we went through. First, let me say that as president, I have to say that this is not something that we undertook lightly. This is a very difficult and complicated process. We understand that everyone has a vested interest in it, especially our students and our graduates. And if there was any other way for us to do what we did, we would have found that way, but we didn't think there was. And so therefore, we decided to undertake this process. As Kevin Burns said, almost 4 years ago, we began working with consultants to look at university status and then to begin to think about the name change situation. One of the things that drove us in terms of considering the name is the fact that we were now going to go beyond Baltimore, which has been our base, and Maryland, where we spent a considerable amount of money, and we're going to Philadelphia, Long Island, Connecticut, northern New Jersey, and all of those other areas in Virginia, where we don't spend as much money. Usually what happens is we'll do a mailing and we'll send information out. One of the things that has happened in the past, for example, is when we did a mailing of 100,000 pieces of mail, for example, to people in the Middle Atlantic states, half of whom were men and half were women, we would get a response that would typically be 80% female responses and 20% male. Now, there are many ways to look at that, but what we kind of concluded was that people were not opening the envelope, so to speak. They were getting it, and they were thinking that perhaps we were a women's college. What's interesting in this whole process is when we did the market research, we did interviews early on to ask business executives in the area. One of our big concerns is with business executives, because of being a career-oriented institution, what their unaided awareness was of the college, of Villa Julie. Nearly half of them thought we were a Catholic women's college. And although we think that's important because that's part of our heritage, and we think that's a very desirable thing, that's not who we are. And the fact of the matter is, when people think that, that confusion really leads to other kinds of things which are a problem. So, for example, if a male student is trying to find a job in accounting in Philadelphia and makes a phone call to an HR office and is not received warmly by that HR office because of the name of the institution, that becomes a challenge for us. So we did the research, and we actually found that there was a high level of confusion about the institution and its name, even though we became an independent college, independent from the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, we're next door still, in 1967, and we became a coeducational institution in 1972. Now, I've gotten a lot of letters from alums, and I can understand this and empathize with this point of view, that we should really spend more money on advertising, marketing, etc. We actually, in fact, do spend a lot of money. But we also live in a society that's very superficial, and we don't create that superficiality. It's just really not what we do. What we do is simply adapt to what's going on. But we live in a superficial world where words mean things. And we found this out when we did the research. And so as a consequence, whether we like it or not, because of the name Villa Julie College that was appropriate in 1947, as we expand and grow and move into these new areas where we're not spending a lot of money on marketing and advertising, it became a real challenge for us to really see how we could continue to do what we wanted to do and maintain the name. So the first thing that the board had done in this whole process was to decide that we would maintain Villa Julie College of Arts and Sciences on this campus. Someone did ask me whether or not the Villa Julie College sign would stay out there, and the answer is yes. We actually have a design where the university name will be over the college, and then we're going to put an archway back here in time that'll say Village Ely College of Arts and Sciences. So we continue with the tradition. We continue with the college staying here. It was fortunate that we were able to do that because there are other colleges where they've had to change their name, and that was not a possibility because they were going to say, if we had decided not to go with university, it would have been more difficult to stay with Village Ely College. But because we did do that, in fact, we were able to create that college. And so we're going to do that, and that's an important thing for us. So with that in mind, you're going to find out what this name is.